Hi friends, brothers and sisters, I am Anya and welcome to Pathways of Hope. Today's Gospel comes from the Gospel of John, chapter 6, verses 16 to 21. And this is the story of Jesus walking on water. Among the four Gospels, John's depiction of Jesus walking on water is actually the shortest. He only uses 6 verses to tell the story. And basically, the disciples are rowing in the sea and a storm comes and they're rowing in the middle of the night. Then they see Jesus walking on water and Jesus says, "It is I, do not be afraid." Then when the disciples want to bring Jesus onto the boat, they find themselves on shore at their destination with Jesus. So that's basically what happened in our gospel today. And something that I learned while studying this passage is that John made it short because it's actually part of a bigger story. And earlier in this chapter, in chapter 6, John actually starts it saying that the Passover celebration or festival is near and they're preparing for that. And so he kind of correlates what happens in the Passover to what Jesus does during this time. Jesus feeds the 5,000 just as God gave bread from heaven in Exodus. And one of the main stories or main events of the Passover is when Moses parted the Red Sea. And John reminds us that happened, and now we have here Jesus walking on water. So John is actually trying to show us that Jesus is the new Moses, or he's not even that, he's also bringing the new Exodus. Now, who is Moses? Moses is someone who symbolizes liberation, and because that's what he did. He liberated the Jews from slavery in Egypt. And so John is trying to tell us that this is also what Jesus has come here on earth to do. He is here to liberate us from slavery, from our sin. And not only that, he's not just the new Moses, but he's someone that's greater than Moses. He doesn't part the sea, he walks above it. He calms a storm and he walks above the water. And that's something only God can do. And so John is telling us that Jesus is someone who will liberate us from our sins, but he's also salvation itself. Another thing related to the Passover is the Passover lamb, the sacrificial lamb. The Jews slaughtered this lamb and used its blood to paint it on their walls, their doors, so that they will be saved and spared from death. And that's who Jesus is to us also. He is the sacrificial lamb. He sacrificed himself so that we may be saved and spared from death. And that's who Jesus is for us today. He's not only someone who liberates us, sets us free from our sin, but he saves us from death and brings us to life. So with whatever storm you're facing, or darkness, or just being tired from rowing all night, John is reminding us that Jesus is here. Jesus has saved you from death. Why do you need to be afraid? And so, something that I also want to introduce or remind us is that when the Jews were about to cross the Red Sea, this is what Moses said, and this is from Exodus 14:13. And Moses says, "Fear not, stand firm, and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will work for you today." So do not fear. Stand firm because the Lord is working for you. The Lord is in your life today. See that. Open your eyes and see that. And that's also why Jesus in our gospel today says, "It is I, do not be afraid." So today in our gospel, let's reflect and just look at Jesus today and see that he has already conquered death for us, for paying the price with his blood. And so rejoice, give thanks, and remember that Jesus has already conquered death, and he will conquer whatever storm you're in today. Happy Easter, everyone. It's a good time to just remember how the Lord has saved us from death. If you have been blessed by this short reflection, remember to like and share Pathways of Hope to your friends and loved ones. Again, I'm Anya. Thank you, and God bless you.